Most people in the world live on a daily routine. In the morning, you wake up in your bed, then you go to your work by car or public transport, and there you earn your money so you can buy your food in the store on the corner of the street. So our primary things in life, like food, accommodation, and transportation, are considered normal in our lives. That's also in my life, but what if you get dropped off completely naked in a country that you don't know the people, you don't speak their language, you have no money, no clothes, you have no stuff and no backup plan? Well, what would you do then? My project is called Birthdaysuit, and it all started with a small childhood fascination that I share with my brothers. We grew up in a very small village in the south of Holland called Berkel. Nobody knows it. And if you grow up, you don't fit your clothes anymore. And in Holland, it's normal that your parents will take these old clothes, put it in plastic bags, and send them away to charity. And my mother always told me that they go to poor children in Africa because they can't pay for their own clothes. Well, we thought that was awesome because it means that on the other side of the world, there's a little guy walking around in one of your t-shirts. So we watched TV a lot, and when Africa was on TV, we tried to spot the kid with our t-shirt on. But unfortunately for us, it never happened. So in 2013, we made a plan and we decided to do something about it. So we set up a brand, and we want to spread a brand of t-shirts, and we want to spread it all around the world at once. We sit on the couch, we turn the TV on, and we see a guy walking in one of your t-shirts. You cannot send just blank t-shirts into the world because you don't recognize them. So we came up with a name, and we choose the name Birthdaysuit, your born outfit, because the fascination started the day we've been born, and since that day, every year our old clothes went away to this charity. We also made a logo, a little baby face with a party hat on. We printed 1,000 t-shirts, and we decided to promote the brand with only the things we've been born with. So in 2013, we took a plane to Portugal, and we got dropped off there completely naked, like you were born. We had no stuff, no money, only the t-shirts, a camera and 2 passports. And we hitchhiked from Portugal all the way to China. And we saw all the countries in between, like European countries, Central Asia, and the Middle East countries. And everybody who helped us on food, accommodation, or rides, we traded a shirt with him. And that's how we traveled to China. Well, the first day was really scary because, they are standing in a country that you don't know, 1,500 kilometers away from your bed, with no stuff or backup plan. So we were kind of lucky because the first day already had clothes, and we could sleep in somebody's garage. But we were not so good in trading food because the first day we only ate 1 apple with the 2 of us. There was also a thing. A fear that we had to sleep on the street one day because, well, we camped a lot when we were kids, but like sleep on the street is next level, you know? You don't do that. And finally the day came in Trabzon, Turkey. We went into this village. We couldn't find accommodation or a guy who wanted to host us. So we knocked some doors, we asked people, but we only had no. So we decided in the night to go to a deserted building. And we slept on the concrete floor. We made a bed from our t-shirts because we didn't have sleeping bags or something. We found aluminum foil, that was our blanket. And we spent the night. It was not so comfortable, but next morning we looked in each other's eyes and we said, dude, man, we survived this stuff. So the fuck it mentality grew, and it didn't matter so much anymore if we had to sleep on the street one day or don't eat for 2 days, because you don't die from it. But the funny thing is that it didn't happen so much anymore. We found a lot of accommodation, a lot of food, and our story got picked up by the media, and so we did like talk shows everywhere. We showed up in newspapers, radio interviews, and all kind of stuff. And we stayed with celebrities, minister hosted us, and other cool people. So our self-confidence grew together with our story, and that made the trip a little bit more easy. After 5 months, we had to go back to the Netherlands because we decided that this was the end of the first trip. What would you do if you are on the other side of the world with no money and you had to go back to the Netherlands? Well, first you go to an airport and you ask the boss of the airport, can I maybe trade a shirt for 2 plane tickets? Yeah, that's what that guy also did. But yeah, but it was not possible. So we decided to look for it in the media. So we were asked to do an interview on Radio Astana in the capital of Kazakhstan. And we asked the people of Kazakhstan, hey guys, this is our story. Would you please buy our shirts? Because we had to go back to the Netherlands. And yeah, you get a shirt and we can get the plane tickets. So after this show, the phone was ringing and we picked it up. And it was Miss Kazakhstan was on the line. And she said, I heard your story and that's badass. I come to the studio right away and I'm going to help you guys out. So she came and we made a plan. And of course, she knows a lot of photographers. And we decided to make a picture together with her. And we put it online, so all the people online, yeah, they knew that we have to go back to the Netherlands. Yeah, with a copy, buy our shirts, so we can fly back. So we took this picture. It was in front of the Khan Shatir, a big shopping mall in Kazakhstan, in Astana. Miss Kazakhstan, she's standing there like that. And yeah, we sold all our last shirts and we were standing behind the last one. But at the same time, a big convoy of black cars drove by with black tainted windows, supported by police. And one of the police cars approached us and arrested us. So they threw us in jail with Miss Kazakhstan. Yeah, so well, we couldn't speak Kazakh, so Miss Kazakhstan explained the story to this officer. And when he heard about the story, he started laughing and he said, well, you're not allowed to walk naked here, so you better not do that. So after a couple of hours, we were back on the street with a warning and we could continue our trip. And our picture went very well on the internet because after 3 weeks, we were on this nomadic tribe and we heard the good news that we sold enough t-shirts to fly back to the Netherlands. Well, we flew back, and there we got picked up in the media in Holland too. We did our first talk. We did naked, by the way. You see the other guy, that's our prime minister. We share the stage. Yeah. We didn't do it without a reason because, well, we start naked in the trip, and before we told all the people in the crowd what our story was, we first traded pens with somebody in the crowd. So, and then we started our talk. So we already proved our point how easy it is to trade something with somebody. So after this talk, we also got picked up by a Dutch channel, a TV channel, and they gave us our own TV show. So second trip, we did with a camera crew, and we started with the same concept in Chile, Santiago. Again, naked, no stuff, only shirts. They had a little bit different color, different design. And we hitchhiked all the way up to Panama. And we saw almost every country in South America. This trip was a little bit more easy because we had our story. Yeah, our story was there. You could see stuff on the internet that we already did, so our story was legit. We had the story short and to the point. We knew the do's and the don'ts, how we could ask to get a yes from somebody. So this trip was really fast. But what do you do if your road is blocked? For example, you have the Darien Gap. It's a border between Colombia and Panama. It's almost impossible to cross because it's jungle. You got FARC and everything. Well, we just dove into a bar and found the captain of a ship and drank a beer with him, tell him our story, and yeah. After a good story, we could join him on a ship to cross the Caribbean Sea all the way to Panama. This also happened one day in Kazakhstan. Same story. We were in Azerbaijan. We couldn't go to Russia because our visa was not valid anymore. And we couldn't go to Iran because they had an election, so they didn't let us in. So we found a captain and we could go on a ship. But this one was next level because he had an oil ship. You see? But first we had to hide in the closet for a couple of hours until we left the harbor because, yeah, traveling on a boat like that is kind of illegal. So after a couple of hours, we went on open sea and the border patrol was not there anymore. And we could come out and we played 5 days dominoes with a crew that we couldn't understand. So yeah, there was this story of the ship. In South America, we also experienced the first time real poverty. I think we don't have real poverty in Holland, but there is in South America. And we saw the ghettos of Brazil. We went to a homeless shelter in Uruguay. But we also got hosted by a president. So we saw like every layer of society. And the poorest people, they really intrigued us. Like they had nothing. They literally live on landfill. And everything they had, they shared it with us. So it kind of like broke our hearts. It's very beautiful to see that people did that for us. But the sad thing also is that that poverty goes along with crime sometimes. And in Lima, we got robbed. 3 guys put us against the wall, aimed 3 guns on our head, and we have to give all our equipment away. Well, this is pretty scary because, yeah, they're pointing a firearm on your head and they can kill you in a slight second. But we saw the situation of the poor people, so we kind of understand where it came from, so it didn't make us really mad. And yeah, after a good pep talk, we spoke to each other and said, okay, we started with nothing, now we have nothing again, so what is the difference? We're just gonna start over again. So we started over again in Peru, and we hitchhiked all the way up to Ecuador. And that was a nice surprise, because we got a letter from Rafael Correa, the president of Ecuador. And he knew that we were like traveling by, and he contacted us, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna host you for a day. So he put us on his show. He's got his own TV show, like explaining the people about what he's doing. And he put us on there, and he explained the whole country, who we were, and yeah, he made us like famous in Ecuador. And he said, like, everybody who sees these guys walking, please help them. So our trip in Ecuador was very easy. He's also trading a T-shirt with us, and we also traded one with the Minister of Tourism, and they gave us train tickets for a UNESCO train ride with that train. And this train trip brought us to all beautiful spots in Ecuador. We were staying in castles. We ate like super fancy stuff. And later we looked it up, how much the price was for 3 tickets to get on the train. And it was about $4,000. So this is the record holder for most expensive birthday suit that we have traded with somebody. So if somebody here in the crowd wants to beat that record, you can come to me after the show. We will discuss about this. So this year we did our 3rd trip, and this trip was special because our 3rd brother Gilrad was with us. And yeah, the first 2 trips we did together with me and my youngest brother Lawrence. And this trip was also a little bit different because we had a car. We drove from Canada through the United States, like every state except Hawaii and Alaska, all the way down to Mexico. And yeah, I told you we have the car, but we didn't have it without a reason, because my brother Lawrence, he got ill in the last couple of years. He got scleroderma, some kind of rheumatism, myositis, and Renault. And that means if it's cold, his whole body starts to hurt. He's got terrible headaches, and his like muscle tissue disappeared. So he cannot carry the heavy backpacks anymore. So in Holland, we traded a lot of shirts. We bought his car in Canada. And with the same concept, we traveled all through the United States. But of course, we need to get the gas. Well, first we hitchhiked. And now, yeah, we had to ask people to fill up our gas tank. So you see this officer in Maine. He thought we had a cool story. So he was filling up our tank. And also drying the socks in the window on the highway was also a little bit better in this way to travel. Well, after the 3 trips, we figured out that we did 63 countries so far, 48 states, and we traveled 95,460 kilometers, and we did it all with 2,150 T-shirts. And we still have to do some countries because, yeah, we want to go to every country in the world. The next trip will be from Australia all the way to Mongolia, and the last trip will be Africa. And then we will be all around the world with our project, and we did everything to realize our dreams. Well, there's a thing that we found really remarkable about all the trips that we made, and that is We've been hosted by so many different people, also people from Czech, and people with different color of skin, different habits, different religion. And always when we were with people, well, not always, but sometimes, they said, not go to my neighbors because they are like scary people. They will rob you or they will kill you. They will do like bad things to you. But most of the times we went to those neighbors and they gave us food, accommodation, or a ride. So we figured out that like almost all people like a good meal, a good story, and a little bit sense of humor. But those neighbors, they didn't know each other. So that brought fear between them. And we also want to introduce these people to each other with our project, because then we can understand each other a little bit more, because we're not so different from each other. Thank you very much.